This is the Hyundai HYVI10030 wet and dry shop vac, and in this video I'm going to unbox it, show you what comes in the box and any assembly that is required. As you can see, it arrives in a rather large box. It weighs 29 kilograms and that makes it a little bit unwieldy. It's quite awkward to carry. You can lift it and carry it around, but be aware that it's not very easy. So if you're not very good at carrying large items, you might need someone to help you actually carry it inside if you order this thing. So I'll just zoom in on the box there so you can get a few more details. So as you can see, it comes with a 3-year warranty. Remember that you can pause the video if you want to look in a little bit more detail. So the easiest way to remove the vacuum is to actually place the box on a nice flat surface, lay it on its side and undo the top, pull out these little cardboard fillers. And then just pull out the vacuum. It's quite heavy and awkward to handle. Be fine once it's on the floor. So there is some assembly required because there are no wheels fitted onto this base here. Everything else arrives inside the vacuum. So I'm going to actually take the top off the vacuum. I'll remove the motor assembly. And then we've got a plastic bag with everything else inside. So this is everything that comes with the vacuum. We've got the 100-litre tank, the trolley assembly at the bottom, 5 meters of hose, the rear wheels, and there are 3 screws there. It says in the instructions that there are 2 screws to attach it, but they've actually sent 3. These are the front wheels. This is the head that's used for dry applications. This is the head that's used for wet applications. We've also got a large crevice nozzle there, a brush nozzle, set of instructions, a foam filter for wet applications, a HEPA filter for dry applications, the 2 tubes to attach the nozzles to the hose, and then we've got the motor assembly, and this has got a cloth filter on there as well. So for dry applications you use a HEPA filter and the cloth filter. That's everything that arrives with the vacuum. So in order to assemble it, I've got to fit the 2 front wheels and the 2 rear wheels, and then attach the hose onto the drum. Without the motor unit on, the trolley and drum is quite easy to handle. It's actually quite light, it's not a problem. So I've tilted that over. Now you'll notice there's a chain attached to the bottom of the trolley there. That is there to actually prevent static electricity build-up. So don't remove it. It's designed to actually trail on the floor and discharge any static electricity. So don't make the mistake of removing that wondering what it's for. It's to actually prevent you from getting electric shock due to static. The front wheels, they just literally push on. Quite easy to push in, no issues at all. Put the second one on. There. So that's the front wheels on. So if you look on the bottom there, you can see we've got a screw hole there and a screw hole there. And as you can see, there's a screw hole on either end of the rear wheel axle. So it's just a case of screwing through the axle and into the trolley. So as you can see, I've fitted that one. I'm just going to tighten this one up, and then that is a trolley assembled. So rear wheels and front wheels. So let's just look at the different filtration options. Now as you can see, there is the cloth filter that's fitted over the HEPA filter. Now that's mentioned in the instructions, but it doesn't really tell you what its purpose is. Obviously it's an initial filter before it reaches the HEPA filter, but it's not really mentioned in the instructions, only to say that it should be removed when you're using this for wet applications. So for dry applications, we have the cloth filter. I was quite shocked to find that there's another HEPA filter under the cloth filter, so that's a bit of a shock. It comes with 2 filters, which I think is very, very good, but this is set up for dry applications. So dry applications, you've got the HEPA filter. You don't need to put the cloth filter on, but I certainly would, because it will make this filter last way longer, and that just kind of slots in there. It's very easy to fit. But let's just say that we're actually going to set it up for wet applications. Now we've got to remove this HEPA filter. Now that just twists and comes off. So if I put that on there and lift it up, you can see the cups there. Now what happens is when you're actually using it for water, the water rises and then it pushes this cup up inside the cage there until it reaches the top, and then it actually cuts off the suction. So that is how it prevents water from being sucked in into the 3 motors at the top. So I'll take that off again, and to actually set it up for wet applications, we use this foam filter, and all we do is slot it over the top of this basket, make sure it's pulled all the way on so that it's touching all around the base, and then push it in and twist it round, put the motor unit on top of the drum, and it's ready to go for any wet work. Putting it back to dry work's very simple. Remove the basket, take off the foam filter. Now be careful with this because you can rip it if you're not careful, so don't be raving it around. And then we put on the HEPA filter, over again, twist it round until it stops, and then the cloth filter is literally just like it's like a little cloth basket, just goes over the top there. So that's it set up for dry applications. So you can see how easy it is to swap from one to the other. I've put the motor assembly on the top. This is the clamp, and as you can see, all you've got to do is line these 2 lines on either side with the lug there, toggle clamp up, press it down, and that's the top fitted on this side. I'll do the same on the other side. So that's very simple. So there are 2 lugs on the end of the hose that attaches to the vacuum. They just push in there and about 1/8 of a turn clockwise, and it's connected. And to remove it, it's the opposite. Very, very easy. And this has got a 5-meter hose. Shop vacs that I've used in the past, a lot of them are just a push fit, and that actually pulls out when you're using the shop vac, which is really annoying. So because this is a bayonet fitting, that is no longer a problem. I mean, you shouldn't be dragging this around by the hose, but if you did, it wouldn't pull out of the vacuum, which I think is a very good feature. There is storage on the trolley at the rear of the drum for all the accessories. Wet and dry nozzles onto the back of the vacuum. So I just want to show you the difference between the wet and dry heads. Now this is the wet head, and as you can see, it's got like a rubber squeegee on either side, and that's so that actually on flat surfaces you can use it to squeegee up the water and vacuum it at the same time. If we look at the dry head, you can see that it's got a brush on the back and the front, and obviously that's what you'd expect for a dry head. So this one is for dry applications and this one is for wet applications. Well, hopefully I've demonstrated reasonably well how to put this thing together and what's in the box. That finishes the unboxing and assembly. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you very much for watching, and please take care.